back at the boat. Heat's running, so that's the loud noise you hear. Going to sand some of the epoxy work I did last time around, and hopefully should go pretty smoothly. Got some breathing protection. Also have a face shield as well. Alright, so I'm going to sand this area here. This is the area where some of the fairing compound had cracked off. And I filled it in with epoxy, very thickened epoxy, and it's hardened up really well. So now to smooth it out. What I'm going to do now is sand this out. This is where the small through hole came through, and I did a little bit of damage to the gel coat when I was removing it. So I put some epoxy there. There's not much, so it should go quick. So sand it down. Last thing I'm going to do is just touch up the inside of the hole with a little bit of sandpaper. Wanted to show you some close-up detail here of the work I did today, the sanding. So that's the through hole. That looks pretty good. I'm excited to get the new one in. And here's some of the fairing at the front of the keel, and that looks great as well. Here's the fairing on the other side of the keel. This is looking well also, so pretty excited here. It's going to be a great slippery boat under the water. Here's some detail of the rudder work I did. I don't know if you remember all the cracks that were in there, but they've now disappeared and it's pretty smooth. Today I am going to
epoxy a few holes I drilled underneath the rudder to let any water out. I drilled 3 holes. No moisture came out. They've been open all winter. I don't think I have to worry about it at this point. What I'm going to do is mix up some West system, and I'm going to take a syringe. I already cut the tip off. I'm going to thicken the epoxy and then use the syringe to push it up. And then I'm going to take these strips of tape. I'm going to put a little bit of wax paper around where the epoxy is, and then tape up the hole so the epoxy can't run back out. Let it dry. It's a little cold today, but it's going to warm up, and I think we're good for a couple days with rain and everything, so I'm not worried about any water damaging the mixed epoxy. When you're using epoxy, always wear gloves. As careful as you try to be, the epoxy gets all over everything. These pumps are great. It's 1-to-1 ratio. It makes it so easy to mix the right amount of hardener and resin. As these pumps get old, you want to make sure that the plunger is all the way back up before you do the next press, because they do get a little sticky. Gonna have to try to find a right balance of these, the filler, their thickener, and resin. Make sure that the syringe will be able to pull it up. Otherwise, this is a pretty easy job. On my 27, I used to drill it out every year, and there was always a little bit of moisture in that rudder. But this one's bone dry. I probably could shoot some 5200 up there or something, but the nice thing about this is I can drill it out next year, or next time I get it hauled out, and then refill it. Still kind of thin, but I was able to get it into the syringe. I figure I have to probably work pretty quickly here. That's one. And that should be it. I'll come back next week, peel the tape off, sand it down, and it's sealed.